Welcome back. In this video, you're going to learn how to freeze rows or columns on a worksheet. And I'm sure you're going to be wondering, why do you need to freeze a row or a column on a worksheet? Sometimes you scroll away from some data because you have all that data either by the sides to check on the same worksheet. And by the time you start scrolling, you can't see the beginning of the data again, just like I have just done now. Can you see that? You'll notice that I can't see column A again. Do you understand that? So also, I can scroll upwards. Can you see that? To the point that I can't see the data anymore. But there's a way I can freeze some of the data on the worksheet. Even when I scroll away, they will still be visible. Do you understand that? So I can freeze, let's say from here to this place now. Do you understand that? I can freeze this such that anytime I scroll away from this particular view, this will be constant. Do you understand? I mean, this selected area will still be constant. They will be visible. So the only thing that will happen is that this side would come under this. Then this remaining one will come under this. I hope you're getting it now. So you need to understand that. But the first thing I want to show you is how to freeze the first row and the first column. Okay? So this is the first row. Can you see that? And this is the first column. Row 1 is the first row. Column A is the first column. Do you understand that? So we want to learn how to freeze those two first. Then we'll now learn how to freeze other columns and rows. So to freeze the first row, all I need to do is to come to View tab and see View. I'm using the record sheet to demonstrate this. So if you have been following me, you'll notice that we've done some things here earlier. So we can still make use of this worksheet to do this exercise. So all you need to do now is to go to View tab. Then when you get to View tab, come to where you have the window group, then come to Freeze Panes. And see that? Then under this, you have three options: Freeze Panes, Freeze top row, Freeze first column. So what we want to do is to freeze the top row first. And now you will notice a line has been drawn under the first row. So if I scroll now, you will notice that the first row remains constant while the other ones are scrolling away. I hope you understand that. That's the whole essence of the freeze function. I hope you understand that. So it retains that particular row on the screen while you scroll away from it. I hope you understand. If I unfreeze it, that is to take it away, to take the freeze function away, all I need to do is to click the freeze panes again, then come to unfreeze pane. Now notice the difference now. So if you scroll now, what happens? It goes away because I'm scrolling away from it. So because I didn't freeze it. But if I go back to freeze it, go back to freeze pane, then click freeze top row, and I begin to scroll now, you'll notice that it's constant. It's still visible even when I'm scrolling away from it. So let's try to do for the first column as well. So let's unfreeze the pane. You see that it's no longer there. So when I scroll now, it's not there. So let's try the column. So freeze first column. When I click, you see the line has been drawn here already. And when I begin to scroll to the right, you'll notice that that column remains constant while the other rows Sorry, while the other columns are scrolling under that. I hope you understand. So that's the whole essence of the freeze function. I hope you understand that. So why do you freeze a row or a column? To make it easy for you to be able to compare data on your worksheet. So take, for example, I have name, first name. If I have so much data here that I want to compare with the names easily without scrolling away from the names, I can freeze the first name. It means from serial number to first name would the freeze function will be applied to serial number to first name. So it means they will always be visible while the other ones will scroll under them. So I can compare these names with other data. Do you understand that? So that's the way it works. So we've been able to demonstrate that. You'll notice that as I'm scrolling now, other data are actually going under that first column. So that is how to freeze the first row and the first column. I mean the top row and the first column. So as you can see, we've been able to do that. So let's unfreeze again. Unfreeze pane. And you notice that when I scroll now, everything is going. Can you see that? So that's the essence of that. So now, how do you now freeze the other rows and other columns? So let's say I want to freeze from serial number to first name, because once I freeze this first name, the other ones before it will also be frozen. Do you understand that? So it means serial number, surname, and first name will remain frozen. Do you understand that? So if I come to age and freeze this, it means age, first name, surname, serial number will be frozen. Do you understand that? So that's the way it works. So also, if I want to freeze rows, if I freeze here, it means from here upwards will be frozen, while the other ones would be free to move under them. I hope you understand that. So that's the way it works. Now, if you are to freeze this particular, let's say this particular row now, can you see it? So you have to click the row next to it to freeze it. I hope you understand that. So if I want to freeze this row 3, then I'll have to come to row 4, then apply the freeze pane to it. Do you understand that? So when I select this now, you will notice that a line will be drawn under this row 3. So, and when I scroll now, what happens? Every other thing goes under it. So anytime you want to freeze a row, you select the next row to it, then go to freeze pane, then do what? Select freeze pane. But because we have just done that, we need to unfreeze for it to go back to normal. So if I scroll now, you see that nothing's happening again. So let's say if I want to freeze row 5, how do I need to do this now? So it means I have to come to row 6, then go to freeze pane, under view, then do what? Freeze panes. Then you will notice that from that row 5 now, can you see that everything goes under? I hope you understand that. So that's the way it works. And don't forget, I taught you earlier that once you freeze a row, the other ones before it will also be frozen. So you need to understand that. I hope that is very clear now. So let's now unfreeze the row. Then let's try column. So if I want to freeze first name, then I have to come to the next column to it, to the right. Then I come to freeze pane, then freeze the pane. Then here now I can now begin to scroll and everything goes on that. Do you understand that? So that's the way it works. So just like I taught you earlier, that once you freeze a column, the other columns before it will also be frozen. So you notice that from first name to serial number, they're all frozen. So every other thing will now go under it. Do you understand that? So to unfreeze it, you have to go back to free panes, then unfreeze pane, and it would return back to normal. I hope you understand that. Now, what if you now want to freeze both the column and the row together? That is very possible. How do you do that? Now, let's assume that I want to freeze from this place to this place. Now, it means I want to freeze row 15. Can you see that? And I want to freeze column F. Do you understand that? So don't forget that for you to freeze column 15, you have to be on column 16 to freeze it. Do you understand that? Sorry, you have to be on row 16 to freeze row 15 upwards. Then for you to freeze column F, you have to be on column G to be able to freeze this. Now, if you are to trace this now, it means you have to be here. So to be able to freeze this particular row. And if you are to freeze this, you have to be here. So you have to find the intersection between the two for you to be able to freeze the whole of this. So what's the intersection? So if you come like this, it will come to this place. Can you see this? Then you come to this place. Do you understand that? So this is the row you're going to select. So if you select this, so let me show you now. So I'm going to select this, then I'm going to select row 16. I'll hold my control key to select the other row. Don't forget how to select non-consecutive rows and columns. You have to hold your control key to be able to select such. Now, this is the intersection. So it means for me to freeze the whole of this particular area, it means I have to click here to freeze that. I hope you understand that. So when I click here and I go to freeze panes, so this particular area will be frozen. I hope you understand that now. So when you scroll up, can you see that every other thing is going under? Can you see that? And when you scroll to the left, or sorry, to the right, you'll see that every other thing goes under. So that's the way to do that. So you've been able to freeze both the rows and the columns. So you've frozen A to F and 1 to 15 now. I hope you understand that. What if you want to freeze from here to here? What do you do? What will be the intersection now? This particular column will be what you're going to use. Sorry, this particular cell where you have the intersection. Because if you click here, it will come like this. Then when you click here also, this is going to be the intersection. So E8, can you see it? Will be the intersection for that. So it means from here to here will be frozen if I go back. So let me go back. I have to unfreeze first. So when I unfreeze, I'll be here. Can you see that? Then the next thing I'm going to do is now to freeze the panes. So it means from here to here will be frozen. Can you see that now? So that's the way it works. So you have to find the intersection between the two, both the column and the row selection. I hope you understand that. So if I begin to scroll now, from that point, it begins to go under. Do you understand that? And if I scroll to the right, you see that that's the way it works. So I hope you've been able to learn something from here. And just try it on your own. Do it over and over again. I'm sure you're going to get it. I hope you understand that. Let me do one more example for the selection of the rows and columns, how to freeze both at the same time. Now let's assume, let me go back to unfreeze the pane. I've done that. Now let's assume that I just want to freeze up to first name. Then I want to stop at row 7. What will be the intersection? Now, for me to freeze row 7, I have to select row 8. Do you understand that? So I'll hold my control key. For me to freeze column C, I have to select column D. Do you understand that? So the intersection between this column and this row is this particular point. That's how to know it. So when I select this now and I go to freeze pane and select freeze pane, you will notice that this has been frozen now. So from first name, everything goes under. Do you understand that? And from row 8, everything goes under. Can you see that? So that's the way it works. So do it over and over again, and I'm sure you'll get it. So see you in the next video. Thank you.